Hey, cosmic warriors, spiritual skeptics, or just a random confused human. Welcome to another dimension. It's time to sit down with me, your reluctant mystic Michelle, coming to you from the void between worlds to talk about some really interesting metaphysical stuff. Who am I? Just a human who's been thrown into this place called Earth, who has a lot of questions, born with a whole bunch of gifts, but not a lot of answers. So what this podcast is going to do is explore some paranormal mysteries, energetic phenomena, and a lot of FML moments that have you questioning, what the hell are we doing here? So if you're spiritual or you're just really confused, this is the right place for you. So join me if you like riding the waves of the quantum ocean and getting really down deep into the WTF of what's going on here. Because, as I always say, they're legit. There's no way I signed up for this. So if you're ready for a wild ride, let's go. Hey, welcome back. We're in episode 3 of season 5. I'm glad you're here. This evening, we're going to talk about divine assignments in partnerships. Divine assignments and partnerships. So when I say divine assignment, what does that mean? What's your calling? If I asked you that, what's your calling? Why are you here? Why are you on this planet? What's your life purpose? Many times that identifying answer is tied to your assignment, your divine assignment. The reason why you've been put on this planet, what you signed up to do before you got here, and all that jazz, right? A lot of it is also tied to whatever your natural gifts are, right? If you talk really well, your assignment might have to do with words. If you have a lot of charm and charisma, your assignment might do with getting people to follow what you're saying. If you have leadership skills, you might be a leader, right? So a lot of times your natural gifts that you're born with have a lot to do with your divine assignment. With that being said, divine partnerships, what are they? Right? This is like the individuals, the souls that you make a contract with before you come down on the planet. Like, look, we're going to do this. We're going to do this together. Let's go. Go team. But again, when we come down here, we go through the whole birth amnesia where we forget all the things. So your divine partner doesn't necessarily have to be somebody you have a romantic tie with. They're usually almost always soulmate. Soulmates do not have to have romantic ties. Soulmates can be anybody. It can be your teacher, it can be your auntie, it can be your uncle, it can be your mom, it can be a sibling, it can be anybody. Twin flames, on the other hand, and I'm not going to stay long in that dynamic, right, of twin flames. So many people have different concepts of what a twin flame is. Some people believe you have more than one. Some people think it's hogwash. Some people think it's an excuse to accept poor behavior. My personal belief is, yes, there is somebody that you're energetically matched with. You have the same energetic frequency and everything else. And oh my goodness, they're going to take you through the ringer. So when people say, oh, this is my twin flame and we're so happy, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you, if there was not trials and tribulations before the happy, it's not a twin flame. Twin flame's purpose is to bring conflict so you can resolve it and heal. So your twin flame is going to trigger the hell out of you so you can heal those spots. So, again, I'm not going to harp on them, but just giving you an example of what a divine partnership, an example of what that could be. So you come on the planet, right? We're gonna call it Earth Lab Earth. I like the way that sounds better. And just like lab partners in high school, Sometimes you get a really, really good one who's all in. It's like, yes, let's do the things. Let's raise consciousness. Let's get the collective excited. Yes, yes, yes. And then sometimes you get assigned a lab partner who doesn't want to do anything. Shout out to Carmisi. Yeah. If you're listening, what's up, my guy? Yeah. My lab partner in high school did nothing but watch me. He had a nickname for me. I think it was like his little cup of love. That's what he called me. His little cup of love. So, and he did nothing but watch me do the work. So sometimes your lab partner can be, again, fully engaged and sometimes not. What does that mean to you? Before we get to the what does that mean to you, let's talk about how to identify your divine assignment, right? We kind of hinted on that already. And B, how do you know who your lab partner is? How do you know who your divine partner is? A divine partner is somebody that you are going to automatically click with. Everything feels of ease when we're talking about collaborating on certain things. Now, keep in mind, I just said the whole twin flame concept is triggering because you're supposed to heal. But between the triggers, that sounds like a whole nother podcast, right? Next episode, between the triggers. But between the triggers, it's fluid. You are able to connect because of the similarities that you have, the way you think, the way you do things. You are able to connect. And it's usually on a very specific thing or thought process or idea. Now, is it always easy? No. Is it always fluid? No. Does everybody have a divine assigned partner? No. I do believe different people come in with different focus areas. You have people who come in and they're just going to do major things and they're doing it solo. And then you have people who are going to be working together on a team. Now, that does not mean that if you have an assigned partner and divine assignment together, you don't have your own individual stuff. And that's kind of where I want to hint on for this episode. When you are working with your lab partner, right? The one who doesn't want to do anything, the one who just kind of sits there and watches, or even tries to sabotage, right? What if you have a partner who's like, yeah, we got this going on, it looks like it's going to be a good idea, and then flips the table, throws everything off? What do you do with that? You don't stop moving forward. Because at the end of the day, you have your own stuff. At the end of the day, you have your own calling. At the end of the day, you have your own assignments. And a lot of times your individual assignment still falls into the scope of whatever that partnership was, but you can't do the things that your partner was supposed to do. But you keep moving forward. You just don't stop. And how do I know that? Because I was told. So a lot of people will use the phrase or the wording downloads. I got this download. Some other people will use channeled. I was channeled this information. It depends on, where your information comes. Some people get it through meditation. Some people get messages through dreams. I get mine directly downloaded. It's a gift that I had to practice, and I didn't just one day wake up and be like, oh, I got all this information. It started through building a meditative practice and learning to recognize what it sounds like and the voice that it comes in. And then once I was able to do that, I didn't have to go into a meditative state, trance or state of mind or delta theta waves and things of that nature. I'm just able to download straight now. So that's how I know. You keep moving forward because If your lab partner doesn't get on board, you're going to get a new lab partner, because God's will is going to be done regardless. You have to keep moving forward. Now, what are some reasons why somebody would just abort mission, right? Abort, jump ship, whatever. Sometimes the work is too hard, because as you get closer and closer to that ascension point, right? As you get closer and closer to these different up-leveling points in your life, you're going to be challenged. Where are your vulnerabilities? That's where your challenges will come. What are the things that distract you the most? What are the things that pull you off course the most? What are the things that hurt the most? That is where your distractions come, to where I don't want to move forward with this anymore because this hurts, because I have to heal this piece of me. And I was talking about the twin flames. That relationship is based on triggering so you can heal. But as you do work for divine partnerships, you're going to be triggered as well. But it's not necessarily healing that's the cause. It's also distraction. Because just like there's high vibrational entities, just like there's high frequency in individuals and situations, the law of science, right? There's an opposite. Equal and opposite. And that's what's going to try to stop you. So if my vulnerability are relationships, right? That I have everything else in check, but relationships are a sore point for me. That's where I'm going to be challenged. If I have a drinking issue, that's where I'm going to be challenged, because we want to have an ability to protect ourselves from those areas. So what happens when it's your partner that's your vulnerability? And keep in mind that even when you're talking about clearances and things of that nature for government stuff, like they look at who you're associated with, because those could be potential vulnerabilities. And using what's closest to you is the most effective way to get you off course. Right? Like, I could care less what Joe down the street thinks about me, or Betty 2 blocks over thinks about me, but I care what my significant other thinks about me, or I care what this important person in my life thinks about me. So if they doubt me, if they say things about me that kind of gets me to think or pulls me off course, that's going to have a bigger impact, because it's usually the people closest to you where your greatest spiritual attacks come from. What does that mean? You got to check your own 6, and that's military term for watch your back. You got to be able to identify your vulnerabilities. You have to be able to identify what things pull you off course so you can address that. Because the closer and closer you get to what you're supposed to be doing, your assignment, your calling, that's when these things start to act up. Not to say I'm testing you to see if you can do it, but I'm pulling you off course because I don't want you to. So it doesn't matter the title of the individual: twin flame, soulmate, mother, father, sister, brother, cousin. Everybody should not have the same access to you simply because of who they are in your life. Everybody does not have the same privileges. Everybody needs to be vetted, just like somebody off the street, because you have to protect your energy. You have work to do, right? You have things you have to accomplish. So when you are in that divine energy, when you are doing those assignments, it's really great if you have been able to get a partner who is supporting you every step of the way. But most relationships, most couples that I work with, because that's kind of what I do, work with couples who are in these divine partnerships, there's usually one person who's much further along spiritually than the other. I've had couples that I've worked with where the one partner is highly spiritual and the other one doesn't even have a faith base. But they are thrown together to do this work. One of them, it makes perfect sense. The other one is like, I have no idea why I feel like I need to do this. I just know I do. And that's another thing. Your calling doesn't turn off, right? Your assignment, it doesn't just go away. It's something that keeps coming back. You have to do this, or you should be doing this. You should be well, it doesn't make me money. You should be doing this. Well, I don't know where I can do this at. You should be doing this. It doesn't turn off. That's a little nugget for you. Your calling doesn't stop. That's why it's a calling. It's constant. Do this, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. So when I am working with couples where one of them just doesn't get it, they just know they have to do it, it's usually that one that goes through like such a quick moving boot camp, right? It's because they have to get caught up to their other partner so they can do the work. So during that whirlwind of getting caught up, so many things can happen. So many things can happen to where there's been situations where one of the partners has to leave that individual alone because their behavior has been so destructive, it's now impacting them. So they've had to leave them alone and let them figure it out on their own. Do they figure it out on their own? Some of them do. Some of them figure it out, come back, brush themselves off, get to work again. Then some of them don't. Some of them go into the desert and they don't return. They choose to stay in the wilderness. So again, what does that mean to the individual who is working on their assignment, their calling? You keep going. Sometimes you have to let them wander off. But you keep going. You keep going. Obedience is rewarded. Disobedience, that's a whole nother topic. But obedience is rewarded. And sometimes the obedience is a challenge. Sometimes being obedient is very difficult. But your obedience is to a higher calling. It's to something bigger than who you are. So you just keep going. So to coming to wrapping this up, I want to very specifically say somebody's title in your life does not give them the permissions or to treat you poorly or an excuse for poor behavior. And that's another reason why I really try to stay away from the whole twin flame phenomena, because I've heard so many people use the twin flame mindset to excuse poor behavior. That's not what this is. It's something that you really need to focus on what is best for you. And if something is causing you distress, right? It's one thing to be triggered, to be able to identify what needs to be healed and do the work. It's another to feel abused, mistreated, and disrespected. Those are multitude of different things. So you have to protect your energy. Not everybody deserves access to your energy, and not everybody deserves your story. So I just kind of want to caveat this because I did use the term twin flames, and because a lot of people fall into that category of thinking it's such a wonderful thing. I suppose on the other end it is, but you got to get to the other side. So, because I'm not going to sit here and be Debbie Downer. My experience has been interesting with that whole concept. Have I made it to the other side? Absolutely not, but I'm chilling. I'm good. So, divine partnerships. They're out there. There are plenty. Some of you all already know you're in one and know the challenges it comes with. Some of you might be in one and don't even know. But I will say this. And even if it's not a divine partnership, just life in general. If you have a calling, a mission, a purpose in life, and you are committed to that, anything that distracts, destroys, or pulls you away from that, really do some reconsidering on where that person fits in your life and how that looks long term. And don't use terms and labels to excuse poor behavior. So, hopefully that information helps somebody, couple, one person, I don't know who's listening. And yeah, definitely check me out here in the webs, on the website, tillgypsymoon.com, on TikTok, She Speaks to Souls, or on the Instagram, tillgypsymoon. So yeah, I kind of throw out channeled messages out there too when I get them. I'm going to be talking more about hypnosis and past life regression on some of those channels of communication as well. And that's another thing. Not to hold you, but that's another thing. Past life connections also tie into these divine partnerships. Out of the past life regressions that I have done, I would say about 85% when there is a divine partnership, especially a lot of times they get married or they're in a romantic connection or they were in a romantic connection, there is almost always a reoccurring theme. That they're working together on something, So it's not just this incarnation, right? You might have a crappy lab partner who's been crappy like multiple lives. Like, how sucky is that? Like, you have sucked as my lab partner for 5 lifetimes, my guy. Like, can we get it together? But yeah, I definitely, that has definitely been a theme that I've seen. Divine partners, when they do past life regression, there'll be a reoccurring theme where their partners, they might not be romantic partners, but they're somehow linked in multiple lives, focusing on something, working together. So that's definitely something I kind of want to highlight there too, because that's always been interesting to me. But as always, I appreciate you all spending your time with me these past 20 minutes. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're in a divine partnership. Has it been easy? Has it been challenging? Are you loving it? Yeah, let me know. I'm always curious about that. But as always, I will chat you guys up on our next episode. You guys take care.